Make sure you have.
Look at you.
I don't think, Ms. Conlon. There is this one. Did you get your score? Your one. You want to say the prayer? Patty, you want to read it?
Already in charge.
That's trouble right there.
Which one do we should?
We should separate that. Yeah, we should separate. If I was a teacher in the class, that they would be separate.
Four corners.
Three Stooges. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand and join us for the invocation and pledge.
Please join me in praying. Lord, I do. I thank you for bringing us all here today. I thank you for the responsibility you've given each one of us here, those in the audience and those right up here on the board. And we ask, Lord, that we always take the work that you would have us do very seriously. We pray for wisdom and ask that we use it. Lord, I pray for the students in our county and ask that they be doing well during summertime and that you protect them and bring them back safely to us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very nice. Stephen. All right, not seeing any members of the public, I'm gonna forego the reading of our comment guidelines. Should someone come in and need it, I will read that out at that moment. So we are going to begin with item 2.1, approval of the minutes of Glades County School Board regular meeting July 10, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Pierce, second by Ms. Clement. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we're gonna move to my favorite on the agenda, item 3.1, update on new elementary school. Welcome.
Thank you. I don't have a video today, I'll bring a video at the next meeting, but just a quick update. As you see, there's a lot of action going on over there. Right now, our main count is at 84 men on site.
Wow.
Starting with the outside, you see the brick that continues going up. We're gonna start windows this week, we're prepping for those now. All the underground is complete, site work, we're prepping for parking lots, sidewalks, we're digging the footers for the canopies right now. We're demoing out the rest of the bus garage, so we can continue digging our pond, and then we'll flip that dirt over into our courtyards and anywhere else that we need fill. Inside of the building, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, they're about 95% rough and complete at this point. We've started low voltage install, all our IT racks are in, above ceiling stuff, drywall is continuing on, installation's continuing on. We actually have finishers in there now doing drywall finish, so things are really moving along pretty quick. We've started installing exterior doors, door frames are going in, it's really moving along really quick at this point, so. So far, we've got our first delivery of bathroom tiles, so that'll start going in next week as well. So things are moving along at a really fast clip at this point. We'll probably have between 80 and 100 guys here in the next couple of weeks. So as all these things start to come in, and we got finishers coming in, and tile guys and things of that nature, so. It's moving along really well, so, everybody, we're on schedule and
On schedule and on
So,
I do have a question.
yes, ma'am.
The windows you're going in, impact glass?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we'll start those, we'll try to run out for those, we'll get them installed, or get a type of each window installed. And we review that with the design team, just make sure that we've captured their intent, and make sure that we don't have any leaking or anything of that nature, so. Going in at that point, we'll send the sign off. So, that's where we're at.
Great, are there any questions by the board? Superintendent?
Just, we good with safety, everything's,
Safety's been great, everybody's got their personal protective equipment on. We still have our stand-down meetings, we have weekly subcontractor meetings, so everybody's on board with, they understand what the assignment is. And they follow through with it. Most, if somebody doesn't wanna follow through, they can leave. So, simple as that.
All right, awesome, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Gresseth, did you have anything to add?
John,
Excuse myself.
We did have a bricklayer in a blue dress a month or two ago that caused a safety
We
issue.
heard that she messed everything up.
And we gave her a special waiver.
That's a crooked brick.
That's what we heard.
They did say there were 84 men, I know there was at least one female that was doing drywall in there, so.
I misspoke,
Yeah.
84 workers.
Workers, that's right.
We do have a few women on site as well, so.
Awesome.
I told that story to so many people about that, I think it's a good comparison about when I went over there to put the brick in, I thought it was gonna be an easy, I thought that it would feel different, I thought that, and when I put that, it didn't go as well as I thought it was going to. And that grout fell everywhere and I thought, oh, this is, and it took me like, I don't know, 10 minutes to do that one brick, and I'm just looking over there, and every day we get here, it's a little bit more, so it's been a interesting,
Hopefully they're quicker than you were.
I'm sure it was the dress, I just wanna say it was the dress.
So what you're saying is you don't have a career as a
No,
bricklayer?
ma'am, I do not, no, ma'am.
Thank you, Mike, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to our information presentation discussion section of the agenda. We'll move to item 4.1, discussion of elected versus appointed school superintendent. Ms. Barnum is here.
Good morning, thank you for having me. I'm afraid I probably won't answer a whole lot of questions, but, I would like y'all to just ask me whatever you need to ask me.
What is the procedure for having a referendum placed on the ballot?
Dr. Warfield called, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, but wait just a second. His question is not about what the item we're on, I don't think. I think he's on item 4.2.
Oh,
Is that correct? Larry, you're asking about a referendum? We're talking about item 4.1, elected versus
Discussion
appointed.
elected versus appointed.
No, you wanna know the
But
process for
that would
that?
still be a question that we.
yeah, that, what, I meant it for
What is the
4.1.
process
Okay.
for getting that?
Yeah, I thought that before, that should be the basis, that's where you should start, that's what I thought.
It is.
For the referendum or,
For either or anything,
okay, let me.
because that's what people are questioning.
Okay, you wanna say what you need to say, let me grab my phone.
It's pretty straightforward. We adopt a resolution, formal resolution, it's got to be written in lawyer talk, it's plain English resolutions are not how we do it, right? And it says that you want, in our case, if we decide to do it, we would want to change to an appointed superintendent. The election's got to be at a general, a statewide primary or a statewide special election. And if a majority of the voters approve it, that's got to stay in place for 4 years. You can't change your mind in 2 years. You're stuck for 4 years. And after 4 years, you can have another election.
So we can't just change our policy.
No, no,
Well, I understand that, but I thought we had
No.
to change the policy and then do that.
well, I'd wait to change the policy until we saw what the electors did.
Okay.
So is it a simple majority? It doesn't have to be by a
It's a
higher
simple
percentage?
majority.
And are you saying every 4 years you have to go back to the
No,
voter?
no, you can't change your mind in 2 years.
All right,
You can change
so
your mind
on
in 3 years.
the ballot, it would be forever until we
Forever,
come back
yeah,
and change it,
exactly.
okay?
We'll
For a
have to-
minimum of 4 years.
And the county commission, the process is, we adopt the resolution, we send it to the county commission. The county commission has to approve it. Sometimes they like to argue about whether they have discretion. Legally, they don't. And then they send it on to the supervisor of elections, and she puts it on the ballot. But they're involved in the process in a ministerial act, right?
And that would be the case for both of these two items. It would be that same way. Resolution, then send it to the county commission.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Both
Okay.
resolutions go through, the way things get on the ballot is the board of county commissioners, again, there's a ministerial act, and said, okay, here's the resolution, Ms. Supervisor, do what you do.
And that's decided in general or primary election?
It's a general, or a statewide primary, or a statewide special.
Okay, and you wanna repeat for the board what you told me?
Okay, if it's anything to do with increasing taxes, it has to go on a general election.
So these two that we're talking about right now could go on a primary.
A statewide primary.
Which is 26,
Yes, yes.
26th August.
But then if we were to do the taxing,
That's
that would have
gotta
to
be
go
on
on
the
the
general.
general. Okay. So that would be November of 2026.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I have hard dates of when those items need to come to me, because I have to start creating the ballot. So if you could get it to me like, mid of June, because my, overseas ballots go out like July 4th. So that gives me a couple weeks to get my ballot.
So mid-June of 2026.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm hoping we're gonna have it way sooner than that.
If you can get it by June 1st, that'd be very good.
The McKinley program is, we do all of our stuff in the first quarter of the year and send it immediately to the Board of County Commissioners and point it out to them that they have a job to do in the next month or so. And under that scenario, she'd have it like May 1.
That sounds better. And what about the salary of an appointed?
That's you have the process for negotiating.
Because we don't have any,
You have discretion up to the cap.
okay, but we
I don't know what the cap is,
Okay.
but whatever, it's 225,000, I don't know what it is. There's a cap.
Is that decided on the student population?
No, it's not like that, not like that.
It's the board.
It's up to you guys,
So,
up to the cap and the other limitations.
And, I'm sure Mr. McKinley knows this, it has to be 75 words or less to go on the ballot.
And then,
75 words or less.
Oh, yeah. Legalese.
Yes.
That's what I mean by legalese.
so the fact that we are, because you had mentioned to me that the board can't really be, you're not sure, but we may not be able to take a political stand, like say, hey, we want this, or we don't want this. But the very fact that we're putting it out there for the voters to vote seems to indicate that we are for it.
the majority of us have to be for it to.
Yeah, for it to advance.
So you're kind of sending that message, right?
No.
That's not necessarily true either. I mean, you're in a board position. Maybe some constituents have come to you.
Yeah,
You might not feel that you want to vote for this, but it's what the people want.
wait just a minute. Did you want to contribute?
I just told them no sidebars.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was distracted. I was trying to
Hard, guys. It's my train of thought.
Me too.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So you were saying.
I was saying, as
Well,
board
they-
members, your constituents may be coming to you asking you for this. It may not be what you're going to check in the box.
Right.
You know, I'm the supervisor of elections and I have to conduct all of the elections. And I end up liking all the candidates when they come to my office and spend time with me. And I have to take a private time in the box and check the box on who I think I want to be elected. But I don't go out and say, hey, I'm voting for Joe Blow or, Susie Smith, it's just, I have to keep it to myself, and that may be a stance that you guys want to do as well, okay? But then, somebody in the county may put a pack together to support this,
We saw a little preview of a motion that this is how the majority of the people that are close to the school board on the outside wanted to go after that.
And
After
so,
Dr. Barfield, I'm sorry.
and so with that being said, that might not be how Patty feels,
True.
but because she is in an elected position for the people, by the people, she's gonna vote yes, let's put it
Well, I'm
out
glad
there.
it's going on a ballot, then it's gonna be something.
Right, it's for the people to decide.
I mean, they've never had discretion on who gets to be our superintendent, except for by electing. So now they can decide how they want the process to go.
Okay, are there any other questions?
That's just putting the pressure back on us
Sure.
to hire the proper person. You can't say, you voted for him, so I don't know.
Go ahead, Ms. Carla.
I just, going back to writing the wording for what's gonna be on the ballot. That would be done by you, Mr. McKinley?
Yes, ma'am. I'm probably your best candidate.
Yes, you would present it to you guys will vote on it, then it goes to the Board of County Commissioners, and then y'all send it to me. And you already have a written, language for the referendum, yes, for the one,
We do,
yes,
from before.
yes.
Can you send me a copy of that? I've changed law firms. I don't have access to the one we did.
Can I send it to Dr. Barfield and she forward it?
Absolutely. That would be wonderful.
Mr. McKinley, could you check on the referendum part of this? Because we had it limited to 4 years. So if we could
Oh, no,
extend that,
It is 4 years, I'm pretty sure. Flexibility you're talking
yeah,
about, I think
like how
that's,
long we can keep
I
it?
think we gotta do it for every 4 years. I'm
Will you
pretty-
check, will
I
you
will,
check
but
that?
I'm pretty sure it's.
Because the longer the better,
Yeah, I don't
We
think
all
we can
know
say
why.
we want it for 16 years, I don't think we can get away with that. I
but
think
maybe
it's 4.
10, I don't know, 8.
Just
I
a
just sound
minimum,
afraid.
a minimum of 4 years would cover that, wouldn't it? Even if we decide somewhere before 10 or 15 or 16 years. We have a,
Well, for the one that provides our flexibility funding, I mean, I don't foresee us ever wanting to not have that, so it won't fall through the cracks.
Okay.
The longer it is, the more,
okay.
because it did fall through the cracks, so.
It did, and since we neglected to put it back on the ballot, we've been 4 years without that flexibility.
2 so far, I think.
Or we will be 4.
Yeah. But that's very important, super important, and
Absolutely.
Dawn knows why, I mean, that is really gonna help us a lot to keep that. So anyway, all right, any other questions? Yes,
Ms. Farnham, you were telling me one time, any referendum change, a change is written in the positive? They can't,
A yes vote is the winner.
a yes vote is a winner.
A yes changes, a no is not. If you vote no, you do not change anything.
Some people got tricky, tried to make
Oh,
that
yeah.
yes and yes and yes.
And that's a lot of times what I say at rallies, because, we have all these amendments that come out, and people are like, I don't even know how to vote. Well, if you vote no, nothing's going to change.
And sometimes they attach,
Yes, things that
Outrageous
you don't
things.
even see, because it's 75 words that they can put on each one.
they can attach all kinds of things, stuff, well, it's
And I need that
basically,
in English and Spanish too, by the way.
So my question is, are we going to discuss that today? Like, are we gonna discuss our pros and cons? Are we going to, because I thought we had talked about, about the different referendums and then us having the elected versus appointed, and there being so many, like, yes votes, so many no votes, were we gonna discuss that, or,
She pretty much summed it up, don't you think? Yes is yes.
well, I don't know, I mean, is this something that we are gonna pursue?
I didn't really come prepared today to do all the pros and cons. I know, FSBA already has a slideshow that has all the pros and cons. We've all seen it. We, maybe not Larry, but I would think we would show that to the board again. I'm not ready to make a decision today. What I am ready to decide is, I like the idea of both of these being on the primary, these two, so that if we do go to the third tax, we wouldn't have three things on one ballot. We could put these two on the primary and the other one on the general.
No, they can only be on a universal primary, right? That's where everybody gets to vote.
This
This
is
would be on,
state property.
this would be on every ballot, no matter what your,
Right,
party affiliation is.
right.
Anything the school does is.
So, Dr. Barfield, were you prepared? Did you want to go through the pros and cons today? Were you wanting for us to make a decision today whether we want to move forward or not?
I don't know that I was prepared to make a decision, but I don't wanna put the time into preparing the pros and cons if the board is not in,
Okay,
if we're not gonna move forward with this, then I'm not gonna put the time into.
right, with the research, right. So at the last meeting, there were 3 people that were interested in going further. Patty was not at the meeting. Patty, would you be in favor of moving forward with putting this on the ballot, or are you
I
against it?
think people should vote.
Okay,
I
so
was
you're,
shocked whenever it was brought to us a year ago. I'm just like, no, that's not, but being that Dr. Barfield's not planning on staying forever.
I feel like the timing
We need
is
to be
right to
prepared.
do it, and before, when I was against it, it was because I felt it was a personal attack, and I didn't want any part of that. But since she has publicly said that she's, planning to retire, now she can change her mind, we all know we can all change our minds, and she can change her mind, but it is a good time to do
I
it,
totally
where
agree.
it doesn't look like a personal attack.
I agree.
So, for that reason, I'm in favor of doing it
And it
now.
looks like, and with that being discussed with all of us, it looks like she's in favor of it as well. Not against Dr. Barfield, but something that we want to find out as a board, what our community wants. We're all on the same page.
Okay, so Ms. Burrell, you were okay with it being on the ballot?
Yes.
Larry, were you?
No,
You don't want it on the ballot?
I'm
You're
not sure.
sure.
My feeling is there's no movement in the public about there being a change.
Oh, you don't know?
Well, my constituents have only expressed that, that they like it the way it is. And my personal view about this, prior to anything, was that it takes a vote away from a citizen after it's happened. They no longer get to control who the
Right.
superintendent is. So, and I want the public to know, I see the value in both, but right now, I'm voting no
Okay, for the ballot.
for the
Put it on
ballot.
the
Yeah.
ballot. So you would have Jean, Patty, myself, Kim, have you made a decision whether you want on the ballot? You're a yes? Okay. So I think with that, Dr. Barfield, we should, maybe do a public workshop and invite, people, wanna talk about it, I don't know.
Why
What
would
do you
you do a
think?
public workshop if we already have 4 members that are already saying they want it? Why don't we just proceed with it?
Okay, that's fine.
I mean,
It's on the ballot, they can make their.
it's all about
choices.
time management, and I mean,
Yeah.
if we have 4 already that are saying yes, let's just
Yeah.
do it and let's go with it.
Okay, sounds good.
Let me say
But
this,
I'm only saying yes if you want to retire.
just because it goes on the
I'm
ballot
serious about that.
does not mean it's going to pass.
Right, we're just giving the voter the
Well,
opportunity.
it's our responsibility to find out what they want. So putting it on there is letting them decide, do they want it or not? Not the person, just the position.
I understand completely.
Yeah.
It took Lee County 40 years to
To
come
change it
back.
Yeah.
Okeechobee came back in 12 years.
So, thank you so much. Ms. Farnham, we appreciate it. Anybody have any other questions of her? Thank you so much for always answering our questions and mine personally and for being willing to come and help us out. We really appreciate it.
If y'all wanna call me and ask me anything on the public, that's fine too.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Farnham. All right, so I think we covered item 4.1 and 4.2 unless somebody has any further questions on 4.2 specifically. Anyone? Everybody understands what that is? All right, we're gonna move to finance reports. It's not a finance report, it's approval of Glades County School District payroll schedule for 7/1/25 through 6/30/26. Have a motion by Ms. Pierce,
Second.
second by Ms. Perlon, any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. All right, public comment on agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move ahead to public hearing portion of the meeting. 7.1, approve the final changes in the reading of the Code of Conduct for 2025-2026. I have some questions, but let's do the formality. Do we have a motion to approve? Have a motion by Ms. Clemens
I'll second.
and a second by Ms. Pierce. Doreen, did you wanna come up and talk to us about this a little bit, please? Okay, so, there really weren't any major changes.
No, so what we've done, when we met, with, school level administrators and district administrators, we were looking over the student code of conduct as well as the student progression plan. And taking their, requests for changes and looking at different things. So one of the things was is that the student code of conduct had a lot of stuff that was academic and curriculum in it. So we just kind of, that's why I came before you, because we removed all that stuff and it's only gonna be in the student progression plan. And if it has anything to do with discipline, or attendance or stuff like that, it's stayed in here. So that might be where there's a little bit of crossover about grades, the progression, the units of study, that all came out.
Okay.
And then, name changes. I am gonna, redo, I found one I like, that we have the paper that says, request for a copy. We're gonna leave that in there, but I'm gonna create a form that's stating that the parent has reviewed it online. And again, letting them know if they would like a copy of it, there should be a paper copy will be in the front office of each school and here at the district office. And if they request a paper copy, then they go to that school or come here and we'll provide them with one.
So it's gonna be on our website as well?
Oh, yeah.
And will Spanish be on,
Yes, I have it in Spanish.
and online too?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And, the only other thing is, there's already a couple with the new letter from the Commissioner of Education. There's a few, that's what I was back there doing, kind of looking to see, there's a bunch of stuff in there about parents' rights. I'm looking through the parent rights that are in the student code to make sure it's following what he's requesting to be done, as well as the other parts that he's requesting, to make sure that it's in compliance with that. And that will, I could just bring those changes if, but it would be law, so it would be strictly what he says. And I was sharing with, someone the other day that I didn't realize, like, I went to other districts looking at stuff, and a lot of what we do is because of law. And like literally our attendance letters and stuff all align with each other because it's requiring what the law is requiring us to do. So, other than that, there should be the only other changes is, I do need to move, fix restoring this put sprayer there, and I need to, put Mr. Perdon back in.
Any questions?
in all the years past, whenever something, big is to go, that's in law, it comes through federal programs, is how we usually hear about things. But now that's been reduced so much that we need to make sure, and I think we are, that we're receiving the information via whatever.
Okay, good question. Even though that the funds are frozen still for many of the programs, we are still getting the emails and the information that's, being required, because, you know, that was the first conversation we had. Our money is frozen, we don't have any money to do what we're supposed to do, but we still have to do it because the law says we have to do it.
Right.
So, they're stopping meetings and stuff like that, and so we're spending money staying at places and getting together, collaborating, which kind of stinks. You know, that's the best part of being together, but right now, that's the only thing I've seen that's stopped. Tara, do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, and she was just, and she goes to a lot of stuff because,
Right.
I mean, and she's the writer and I'm the one that puts the feet and hands to it, so, we work closely together, but that's the only thing I've seen change so far. And, any changes that do come from the government is, they're, even though we hear it in the news, they are sending us formal information about those things.
Larry, we're members of an organization
Oh,
that
yes.
gives us
I know, I read it,
all of our,
and it comes via our organization. And I know that anybody can get on the website and see what's happening in Tallahassee, but that's not always easy. So I was just wondering if
But
there's
they
still a direct line.
Yeah, and
they keep
and-
our stuff up to date.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I'm still going through the entire book to make sure that I've captured all the new laws, like the House Bill 1105, there's like 3 or 4 things that I've captured, but, and actually Wendy has captured also, but, I wanna go through there a little bit better to make sure we've captured everything and that we're in compliance.
So I have a question, Noreen, about and it might be more for Tara or both of you, but, so the freeze on the funds, does that include ELL?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's, I knew it was migrant.
Homeless, we have friends who are homeless, and I still, and I honestly, right now, we already purchased things for the beginning of the school year, so I have things to start the school year, the problem is I no longer have assistants. So it's just me getting the stuff out to the schools, so, I would start looking in the room and saying, okay, what do I need to go, I need to get done, because I don't have people to help me do it, and so people will have to step back a little bit, because I'm creating parent packets for ELL parents to help them do, stuff at home, like, flashcards and stuff like that. And of course, all of our homeless students, going through all the student residency forms. I'm sure the school levels will help me, like, separate them out at least, and then I'll go through all those, and I'll reach out to those families, and, we still have things to give them and provide for them. Besides, we have something through United Way that, Henry and Lee County has partnered with us, and, I plan on doing a lot of use of that this year also, and it's pretty cool, because you can go in and order for a specific child, and it mails out, and even though it mails to the school, it comes in their name, and then they're just given a package, so nobody knows what it is or anything.
So is the law still requiring us to provide them with, an aid, like a
A para?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're, yes, I mean,
But they're not funding that.
no, they're not funding it, but, we really didn't use funding, staff funding for that, we used more for programs and such, and materials and supplies and such. So the schools are, identifying those paras that will be working with ELL students. Because, I mean, we have.
So it's a general pair.
Yes, and to be honest with you, looking over the data from last year, we have more immigrants than we do migrants at this point. And that started with all of the things that started last school year, so, I mean, we still have a few, but, and we have some migrants that are Americans, that they migrate with bees and stuff, so it's not just ELL kids.
Right.
But, our immigrants is right now is our highest number here in our district. And so we're servicing them, of course, they're coming in with language barriers, and a lot of them are homeless, so we're servicing those students, so.
Do you know who funded the backpacks for kids?
Here, the one that's coming on Monday. I think it's a multiple, organizations. and it's going
HE Hill
through-
Foundation, US Sugar,
Thank you.
Community Health Systems of Florida.
Yeah, we're, actually, Jay's gonna have a table there, and I'm giving her paperwork. We are doing one for the other side, like we're doing, of course, it's Henry, but it's also Blades, because a lot of our kids over there, we're having one Saturday morning, and then there's gonna be one up in Clewiston, but the one here Monday night, actually, she's gonna let me know today, they were gonna use the Doyle Connors, building, but it was still under repair, and, Mr. Thomas said that we can use his cafeteria if need be, so I'll have more information on that later today, but yes, it will be here,
So every
they-
student,
and we have lots of people who, donate to us.
every student, that's.
Could you let us know that, because like I'm not on Facebook anymore, so I don't even know about that.
Which one?
You said a backpack giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
For every child.
Yeah, and the deal is, United Way does that every year in all 3 locations. It's just that we started a thing at our church, and I do a lot of work with them with Kiwanis and stuff also, and they have teamed up with us. Instead of having 2 events, we have one huge event, and we're expecting like 1,000 kids. And, if kids from Warhaven come over, we're gonna service any kids that come, it doesn't matter, they may come from Immokalee, it doesn't matter. We plan on servicing those students, and they're supposed to be getting outfits with shoes and, backpacks.
Haircuts?
Haircuts, we're feeding them.
And Ms. Ray, that
Some
was
kids don't have
undone
haircuts.
until yesterday at about, I don't know, 3 o'clock, they called me and said, asked me, could they have it at the cafeteria because they were planning to do it at the O'Connor building.
So it's official?
And, yeah, it is
Okay,
official.
all right.
And they said, could I do anything, did we have any place we could host it, because, they were gonna have it at the O'Connor building, and they were called yesterday and told they couldn't have it there. So I said, of course, and so Mr. Thomas was here, and I called him in, and then we made a video and said, hey, come to the, cafeteria, so it's not been out there, I don't think, and now I do know when we put that video out, the video's got something like 2,000 views or something, so I think we're gonna have a lot of kids, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and I talked to both principals the other day, and the high school offered their spirit hall, but we decided on the cafeteria because the spirit hall is all pretty and shiny, we want that to stay pretty and shiny for the new students. Cafeteria is not the first place it's not as big a deal as that. So, that's why, and the cafeteria is close to the road and stuff, and so it made perfect sense to do it there. So,
And when
I'm
is that
glad
one?
that was official, I was gonna give Lisa a call today.
I know the one in LaBelle is Saturday morning, when is the one?
Monday at 4 to 6.
Okay.
Now, there's a
Monday,
church in LaBelle that's doing one too, but
the
a
28th.
lot of churches have joined them.
The Hispanic one?
No, that could be another one. The church where
Tina's
Tina
church.
attends.
Yeah.
You've been
That's
doing it?
my church. That's
Okay,
what we're doing.
all right, okay.
That's where the haircuts and everything. and-
Okay,
and-
gotcha. That when you were
all
saying
of
that, I'm
the-
like, is there even
Yes,
another
all,
one?
no, all of the people that work with Lisa at the health department, at United Way, like all the health department and all the different organizations that work with kids, they're all coming to our church, and we have some setting up inside, some setting up outside. There's free breakfast, free lunch, free haircuts.
And I know that, Westglade's students, they feel a lot like they're part of LaBelle, so they go,
It does
They go.
say, it says Henry and Glades.
Yeah.
The flyers say Henry and Glades. There's no way to separate it, you can't. And, it's a mess, but, there's parts of Port LaBelle are Glades County.
oh, a big
So,
portion.
Yeah, so, and like I said, we talked about that. If kids come from Clewiston or Immokalee or Moorhaven, we're not turning any kids away, so.
And you don't run out.
We're trying not to,
Yeah, I mean-
we're ready for 1,000.
So that's 4 to 6 on Monday, the 28th.
That's the one that's gonna be here in Moorhaven. The other one's
It's a-
8 to 12, the one that's in LaBelle.
I think she's asking for the date, the 28th, Monday,
Correct,
the 28th.
4 to 6 at this elementary school,
At Moorhaven Elementary School.
if I show up.
It would be nice if it was a different place, right?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So, we don't have anyone on your staff that's speaking Spanish, that's like an advocate and can make phone calls? Not anymore? Okay, because it would be,
It's gonna be painful.
yeah, well, my fear is that the ones who need it the most are not gonna know about it because they're not on Facebook, they can't read English, and they're in a migrant camp. I just wish they could be contacted. And I know when I was many years ago at West Glades,
I
We-
could
there's a-
send out a text message through the system to our families.
oh, that would be
And it would
good.
be in English and Spanish.
And usually that person who works in the office, I mean, years ago it was Jessica, and she knew everything.
Yes,
She knew
and I
every
still
child,
do,
where they lived, who they
yeah,
were.
I know, and
She's
that never
awesome.
changed, and
But
so.
now is her sister there?
Yes, Sylvia does
Okay.
that now, but Cedr's also there, and so that's the blessing. Cedra worked for me for a year, and so she's at West Glades. Sarah does an amazing job. I was hoping that Fatima would take the position at the high school, but, I'll have to work at the high school. The high school is the one with no one who's, worked with ELL or has worked with migrants, so, I'll have to work on that one, but we'll make it work.
Okay, that would mean a lot to me because I know, it just seems to me like if we don't contact them, then it would actually be the most neediest, would
Yes,
not.
I agree.
And on Kirby Thompson Road, when I drive there, there seems to be this large camp.
Yes, that is our migrant camp, but we've only had like 2 families in the last.
Okay, that was my
years.
question
It
because,
used to be full,
They're
okay,
afraid,
I know,
they're afraid that
it's sad.
ICE is gonna
And the year before, our out-of-school youth, which is, the migrant workers that were between 18 and 21, which we got funding for and that we did things for, they stopped coming pretty much too.
ICE went through Okeechobee like 3 weeks ago. They were in Okeechobee every day. And a lot of people were picked up, so.
so just to make sure I understand, Ms. Backus, you're gonna do,
Isabel.
It's a,
oh,
it's a,
I've known her forever.
yeah, it's okay.
Ms. Isabella, you're gonna activate something to get that information
Yeah, I'll
those,
send
you
it
know
out.
who, you know who I'm talking
I will
about.
I'm gonna send it out to all of our kids, and it'll capture, actually, I don't have to do West Glades, I'll do Moorhaven, the 2 schools here in Moorhaven, and, I'll do it tonight, and then I'll do it again on Sunday. Cause I can send it out multiple times, a reminder,
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
and
you.
I think text message is like the best way to do it.
Because they will, a
They'll
lot of
look
them
their
that
phone,
are
they're
poor
gonna
will
look at
have
their
a phone.
Yes.
So why did you say you didn't have to do West Glades?
Because I don't know, I guess I can, but they'll go to the Lavelle one, but I can do it. I can do the whole district.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, those,
Don't want them double dipping either. That's one of the reasons why everybody teamed up with us this year. We tried to do it last year, but it's too late in the game.
but what I'm saying is, you scared me now, cause I thought I had all this in my head. In the West Glades area, those parents that don't speak English, you're going to target them. You just said,
Oh, do you want me to target them for the one in Lavelle or the one here?
it,
Or both?
both,
Okay, all right, I can do
because
that.
some of them are not even gonna know what Moorhaven is. I mean,
I can do that.
they don't move around, they get in one spot and,
I can do that.
well, when they
That's
move,
easy.
they move out of the county, but,
And the system translates it for me, so,
okay, thank you.
all right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so we had a motion, we had a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll move to consent agenda. Is there any items on the consent agenda that any board member would like to pull for discussion? Awesome, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the entire consent agenda.
I make that motion.
Second. Motion by Mr. Lucky, who is the second? Ms. Crowell, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Action agenda, item 9.1, approval of the Firefighter Inc. Standard Fire Alarm Agreement for Glades County School District Bus Depot. We have a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Proline,
Second.
second by Ms. Pierce. Any discussion?
A simple question, is this any different than previous years? Or is it basically, the agreement's the same?
That's you, Mr. Thomas.
This is a standard agreement, but you know, we've put in the new bus garage and I had to have this connected before we are CO.
It's a new system.
Okay.
All right, any other questions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 9.2, approval to place flexible funding referendum on ballot. I would ask that that motion include, primary ballot.
We thought we were gonna put the other two on the primary and this one on the general.
This
Did I
is,
have it backwards?
yes, ma'am, the one that if we decide, which we haven't talked about today, but the half-cent sales tax, that's the one that would have to go on the general.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I move to approve, placing flexible funding referendum on the ballot, on the primary ballot in August of 2026.
Awesome. And Ms. Pierce, are you trying to second that or make that motion or?
I'll make the motion.
You second.
I think I made the motion.
Yeah,
So now I'm making it for her because she can't, okay, second.
okay. She,
I got it.
Patty tried to make the motion before you spoke.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
And I heard Patty and I heard you, and so I was trying to
I'll
I
second.
clear that up.
apologize.
No worries, no worries.
whatsoever.
Ms. Prowan made the motion, and that's gonna be the primary ballot in 2026. And Ms. Pierce made the second. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. I only heard two ayes on that.
Alright.
Okay, all, motion carries.
That can't be done.
Okay. All right, 9.3, appoint 2 members, 1 school board member and 1 local business representative to the 2025 Value Adjustment Board. There were 2 listed,
We had a discussion about that.
I'm already, I've already got all my dates I'm able to attend.
okay, great, so you're accepting, we didn't want to vote you on without, and did you talk to?
I did, he
Okay.
accepted.
Okay, all right, so we just need a
Who
motion.
is it?
And there is
Oh, yeah, that's
the,
fine.
I'm the alternate.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Clement to approve,
second.
second by Ms. Prowan. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 9.4, approval to change the Glades County School Board regular meeting on October 2nd, 2025 to October 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Do we have a motion to approve? Have a motion by Ms. Pierce. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Prowan. Is there any discussion?
6 p.m. or 9 a.m.?
It says 6 p.m. on here.
The previous one was, okay, so now.
Yeah, they were
6 p.m.
both
as well.
6.
Okay.
And, Ms. Prowan, you said you're not gonna be available that day, is that correct?
No, I'll be here.
Oh, you will, okay.
It's the one this coming Friday that I will.
Okay, all right. So that one works for everybody? The October 9th, I think I already assumed we'd do a pretty good move. Yeah, I'll check.
What Friday, what are you talking about?
Ms. Prowan, what's this Friday thing?
What date, Friday? What is it?
August 1st, Friday, August 1st, there's the
Public
budget
hearing.
thing, and then we're gonna vote to add a school board policy.
I don't have any information on that, so.
I had it penciled in, so we must have talked about it sometime.
The budget thing, we talked about at our last meeting,
At 5:01 p.m.
Yeah.
So,
it's a public hearing on the.
Yeah,
so Patty, you'll need to get with our new Amber, is that her name?
Yes.
To get your emails
I
straightened
got
out.
a new phone and
Yeah.
I'm getting Gmails, but not from school.
Okay. All right, so back to the motion, let's see, we're on 9.4. We've had a motion, we've had a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.5, approval of school board policy meeting to be held on August 1st, 2025 at 4 p.m. before the public hearing to adopt millage and tentative budget meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
I make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Lucky. Do we have a second? Have a second by Ms. Pierce. Is there any discussion? Is that gonna work for you, Ms. Clement? Okay. So on August 1st, we'll come at 4, and then we'll do the, public hearing at 5:01. So any other question or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we still have a regular school board following that on the 7th.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, what's your question, Ms. Pierce?
I didn't know, like I said, I don't have any information on that meeting, so I didn't know if it was including our school board meeting on the 7th as well. But
We do have a school board meeting on the 7th at 6.
I have that, I just didn't know if it was changed.
It will be.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, all right, we're gonna move to general public comments. Okay, superintendent's report.
Alrighty, just a couple of things, actually more, Amber, can you go ahead and pull it up, please?
Yes, ma'am.
So very first thing I wanna tell you is that, we received an email, or not an email, I'm sorry, we received a memorandum from, the chancellor and, the grading scale for high school, combination schools and districts will be changing next year. In order to be an A school district, you would have to go to a 65% to 100, B is 60 to a 64, C 45 to 59, D 35 to 44, and F 0 to 34%. The elementary schools, to be an A, you're gonna have to be between 62 to 100. An elementary school to be a B is 54 to 61%. So they're making it a lot more difficult to be an A, B, or an A or B. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and, can you turn it, Amber, just a little bit, like toward the board? Because my directors have already, they've already seen this.
Dr. Barfield, is that gonna help you in your growth, though? Those numbers, they don't coincide?
Okay, so, last week, I believe it was, we received an email from the new Commissioner of Education. And, the letter was very pointed. And, I went ahead and had Whitney from HEC write this up as a PowerPoint. And I'm going to be showing this to all teachers, and then the teachers are gonna sign for it. And I thought that since they are gonna be signing for it, that you should see it. There's a teacher bill of rights, and then there's also a parent bill of rights, and I think that, you should see it, so. This is Miss Amber, our new IT supervisor.
Teachers' Bill of Rights and Requirements for School Principals. On July 14th, Commissioner of Education Anastasia Skaluza sent a memo to school district superintendents and school principals and administrators regarding Teachers' Bill of Rights and Requirements. The memo stated, in Florida, all students have a right to learn in a student-centered learning environment where Florida's state academic standards are the foundations for learning. As teachers return from summer break, this memo serves as a reminder of teachers' rights, specifically regarding student discipline in the classroom. The 2023 legislature passed and Governor DeSantis signed into law House Bill 1035, effective July 1st, 2023, which established the Teachers' Bill of Rights in Chapter 1015 of Florida statute. This law provides Florida teachers with a clear set of rights in their profession and classroom. Section 1015.05 of Florida statute, the right to control the classroom, allows teachers to establish classroom rules of conduct, establish and implement consequences which are designed to change behavior for infractions of classroom rules of conduct, have disobedient, disrespectful, violent, abusive, uncontrollable, or disruptive students removed from the classroom for behavior management intervention, have violent, abusive, uncontrollable, or disruptive students directed to appropriate school or district school board personnel for information and assistance, assist in enforcing school rules on school property during school-sponsored transportation and during school-sponsored activities, request and receive information relating to the disposition of any referrals to administration for a violation of classroom rules of conduct or school rules. Request and receive intermediate assistance in classroom management and the student becomes uncontrollable or in the case of an emergency. Request and receive training and other assistance to improve his or her skills in classroom management, violence prevention, conflict resolution, and related areas. And press charges if there is a right reason to believe that a crime has been committed on school property during school-sponsored transportation or during school-sponsored activities. The memo also stated, in cases in which a teacher faces litigation or professional practices sanctions for an action taken pursuant to this law, there is a rebuttable presumption that a teacher was taking necessary action to restore or maintain the safety or educational atmosphere of his or her classroom. For students with disabilities whose behavior impedes their learning or the learning of others, the individual education plan team must identify, review, and document supports to address those behaviors as part of the IEP. School personnel may consider any unique circumstances on a case-by-case basis when determining whether a change in placement, consistent with the requirements and procedures, is appropriate for a student with a disability who violates the Student Code of Conduct, as established in Rule 6A-6.03312 of Florida Administrative Code. It is important to note that school principals play an essential role in upholding the teacher's rights and have their own responsibility to safeguard the learning environment. To support and protect teachers' rights, it is imperative that school principals adhere to the following legal obligations established in sections 1003.32 of Florida statute without exception. When a teacher refers a student to the principal's office for behavioral issues, the principal must determine whether the student violated the Student Code of Conduct. If the principal finds that no violation has occurred, no disciplinary action may be taken against the student. If the principal determines that the student's behavior warrants a more serious disciplinary action than recommended by the teacher, the principal may impose a more serious consequence. The principal shall notify the teacher of any decision regarding discipline or lack thereof and interventions provided to a student to address the behavior. If the principal deviates in any way from the teacher's recommendation, the principal must provide the reasons for any such deviation in writing to the teacher. As school leaders, principals are responsible for upholding the ethical and safety standards required by state law and the Florida Educational Leadership Standards outlined in 6A-5.080 of Florida Administrative Code. Act ethically and hold themselves and staff accountable to the Florida Code of Ethics and Principles of Professional Conduct as established in Rule 6A-10.081 Florida Administrative Code by protecting student well-being and fostering a safe, respectful school environment. Ensure compliance with all safety requirements as outlined in sections 1001.54, section 1006.09 of Florida statute and Rule 6A-1.0017 of Florida Administrative Code. School principals are reminded that these are not optional practices. They are requirements under the law designed to uphold the authority of teachers in the classroom and to ensure a respectful, orderly learning environment for student academic achievement. Failure to comply with these provisions is a violation of Florida law. As Commissioner, I will exercise my full authority to ensure school principals uphold teachers' rights and the superintendents and charter school leaders prioritize this within our districts. As a reminder, when a concern pertaining to teacher empowerment is not resolved at the school or district level, teachers may request a special magistrate. The special magistrate will determine the facts, consider information provided by the school district, and submit a recommended decision to the State Board of Education within 30 days after receipt of the request by the teacher. The State Board of Education must approve or reject the recommended decision at its next regularly scheduled meeting, occurring more than 7 calendar days and no more than 30 days after transmittal. For more information, please visit the Florida Department of Education website. The department will continue to monitor adherence to these statutory requirements and will follow up with any district or charter school where non-compliance is reported. Thank you for your attention to this important reminder and for your continued leadership in supporting Florida's teachers. I am looking forward to the beginning of the 2025-2026 school year and assisting districts and charter schools with promoting my 2 priorities of school safety and student achievement. Thank you.
Okay, I think that was, I think it's important that you hear this, as well as the next one she's gonna put up, because if you have teachers that call you or parents that call you, you will know what they're talking about. I can tell you that from just conversations, with people in Tallahassee, he is not playing about these Bill of Rights and these parental rights. This next one is what parents will have received, and so this is more specific to things that we must require, so I think this is important as well.
Florida Parental Rights and Protections in Education. On July 14th, 2025, Commissioner of Education Anastasia Scammuzza released a letter to Florida parents reminding parents of their rights and protections in education. As Florida's Commissioner of Education and as a father myself to 4 beautiful daughters, I am deeply committed to creating safe, high-achieving schools where every child can succeed. I believe that the most powerful influence in a child's life is the role of the parent. That's why Governor Ron DeSantis has prioritized parental rights and signed House Bill 241 into law. Moreover, the Heritage Foundation ranked Florida #1 for educational freedom for the 3rd year in a row. Additionally, Florida ranked #1 on the EdChoice-Friedman Index and ranked #2 for education overall by U.S. News and World Report. As Commissioner, I will always continue to fight for and safeguard parental rights. You know your child best. When parents are informed and included in the educational process, students succeed. As we begin the 2025-2026 school year, I wanted to share how proud we are of Florida's students, teachers, and families. Because of your support and involvement, Florida continues to advance achievement and academic growth. These results aren't just numbers, they represent real opportunities for our children. At the heart of this success is you, the parent. You are your child's first teacher, and your voice matters. Whether helping with homework, attending school events, or making decisions about your child's education, your participation is essential. That's why I wanted to take a moment to remind you of some of the rights you have as a parent or guardian of a child enrolled in a Florida public school. These rights aren't just written into law. They're rooted in the shared belief that families must be central to every meaningful decision in a child's learning and development. When families and educators work together, there is no limit to what our students can achieve. You have the right to expect instruction that encourages individual responsibility, effort, and merit, does not assign guilt or blame based on a student's background or the way God created them, is objective and factual, aligns with Florida's state academic standards, and protects students from being made to feel inferior or uncomfortable because of their race, sex, or religion, and builds resiliency. As your child progresses through his or her school day, below are some areas we would like you to be aware of and request that any concerns you experience be reported to the Florida Department of Education. Pursuant to Florida law, every school must begin the day with a 1 to 2 minute moment of silence. Students may use this time quietly and thoughtfully, and we encourage you to talk with your child about how they might use that time in a meaningful way. You can also expect transparency in the instructional materials and training used in your child's classroom. By focusing on core academic subjects and rejecting indoctrination in the classroom, Florida has become a standard bearer for educational excellence. Florida law requires schools to ensure that restrooms and changing areas are designated for exclusive use by boys or girls. Schools may also provide single-user or unisex options. These protections help maintain privacy, dignity, and safety for all students. Parents have a number of additional rights as summarized below. The right to direct your child's education, upbringing, moral, and religious training. The right to choose the educational setting that is best for your child, public, private, religious, or home education. The right to review your child's school records at any time. The right to make medical decisions for your child and access their medical records. The right to give written consent before your child's biometric data, like fingerprints, is collected or stored. Any DNA or blood samples are taken unless required by law or court order. Audio or visual recordings of your child are made, with exceptions for school safety, instruction, activities, or identification cards. The right to be promptly notified if any government or school employee suspects a crime involving your child. The right to be told if there is any change in your child's physical, emotional, or mental health support at school. The right to receive notice of any health services offered and choose whether or not your child participates. The right to transparency in instructional and library materials. Elementary schools must post in searchable format on their websites a list of all materials in school libraries and reading lists. The Florida Department of Education must publish and regularly update a list of all materials removed or discontinued due to objections. Each school board must have a process that allows parents and residents to object to specific instructional materials and ensures those objections are addressed and resolved. The right to ensure classroom instruction and school practices align with state law. Classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in grades pre-kindergarten through grade 8. If such instruction is provided in grades 9 through 12, it must be age-appropriate or developmentally appropriate and consistent with state standards. Public kindergarten through grade 12 employees and contractors must not be required to use preferred pronouns or titles that do not align with a person's biological sex. Students may not be asked to share their preferred pronouns or penalized for choosing not to. The right to report a concern to your school principal and, if not resolved, escalate it to your district. If still unresolved, request a neutral special magistrate to review the issue and recommend a resolution. These apply to student welfare concerns related to health, safety, or well-being, instructional or library materials you believe are inappropriate. We would like to share with you some resources that are available to you as parents on our parental rights page located at www.fldoe.org/parental rights. Additional parent resources include the Attorney General's Office of Parental Rights, where a parent may file a complaint related to violations of the parent's Bill of Rights. To file a complaint of educator misconduct, please contact the Office of Professional Practices Services at the Florida Department of Education by emailing parentalrights@fldoe.org. Florida law requires the implementation of a special magistrate process to support families by protecting parents' rights and giving them additional assistance with certain disputes that are not timely or satisfactorily resolved by a Florida school district. The link above provides information for parents seeking appointment of a special magistrate to resolve certain disputes. As we begin this school year together, know that we are here for you and respect your role as the parent in the educational process. We are cheering for your child, supporting your family, and committed to ensuring every classroom in Florida is a place where every student is challenged and inspired to achieve his or her full potential. Thank you for the trust you place in us. Let's make the 2025-2026 school year our best yet. Thank you.
Okay, so that's what, the teachers will be watching that on Monday, just where they'll know what was sent out and kind of give them a heads up. And it's always good to go back through and to make sure that you're understanding of what the parental rights are as well as teacher rights. So that, do you have any questions on that?
Can we put links on our website so we don't have to?
Yeah, I believe it's already been done. If not, it will be done today. I know we sent it
I
out.
saw it yesterday and I didn't see it,
Okay,
but I wasn't looking for it, I didn't know it existed.
yes.
But yeah, links with that would be great, not specifically on our website, it just takes up too much, but a link to go there with titles, that'd be perfect.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
In our role of supporting students, supporting teachers, supporting parents, in one of those slides farther back, when they mentioned special magistrate, it seemed very objective. But at the end, when it's talking about the parental rights, it seems as if this special magistrate is all geared for their use. So if I'm right or wrong, I don't know, but what does the teacher use when this happens? The support of the administration, the union, what? Because, so we're not, have we had this special magistrate system before? Okay, so we're gonna be in uncharted waters on this.
Right.
So we're gonna be learning as we go. Yeah, well, okay. I like what I hear, for the most part, about parental rights. I like what I hear about student rights. Okay, I've done all of those. And I've been a teacher. But that looks scary to me as a teacher.
Larry, I think Mr. McKinney had a comment when you asked your question about special magistrate.
I was just gonna make a comment that that's similar to the system that they had in place for textbook challenges. So whatever experience and jurisprudence came out of that will probably be mostly duplicated in this.
I don't have a question, I have a comment. I think it's a shame that we have to go through all of this. I question what happened to common sense, to people doing the right thing for the right reason to the right people. And all of this that has to be legalese and it just, I don't know, it's just a comment, I'm not asking a question.
I agree,
I agree too.
but I think having that in place helps everyone.
Yeah.
Helps everyone, because some people are still not taught these things. Never have been.
And we may be rural, we may be behind in some ways, but I think when I see what's happening in other places, I think our area has more common sense than most, because I'm shocked at what schools in other states have done where it's considered the norm. So I see why.
Yeah, and I think we've read some cases recently where schools and teachers did kind of abuse their authority, and that this is backlash from a few isolated incidents. And so,
What a shame.
But
yeah,
I don't see a big change from how we've always operated for us, but other school districts, no.
And I did, when the state sent a list of the books that were pulled.
That was crazy.
Okay, I didn't read it right away because I was on vacation, and so that meant I would be on a little tiny phone reading it. But when I got home, I decided to open that up. And I think there were 35 pages, and I just absolutely stopped at page 17 because there was no sense reading anymore. Every one of those were appalling. And should never,
Ever in our schools,
and should never be in any school system. And
or library.
I have a comment as well to piggyback on what you said, Larry. When I read the list, I called Cheryl Heisman on the phone to thank her because she personally read every book at West Plains before she put it on the shelf over the summer.
well, that's giftedness,
She
right
read,
there.
yeah.
That's not normal,
But
she's awesome.
I did thank her for that,
Yeah.
because she was prudent enough and had enough common sense to be careful about what she put on the shelves. And I told her a story about Barbara Hughes that Cheryl didn't know, maybe you all know this, you know it. But Barbara Hughes, for those of you that don't know her, was our high school librarian for many years. She read every book also, and when it came to something that she felt was inappropriate, she tore those pages out of the book. She kept it on the shelf. And she told me that students would, some of her avid readers, you know, hey, Miss Hughes, this book is missing pages. She's like, really? So there were ways to protect children that didn't have to be legalized, that aren't banning books, but an adult with enough common sense to read something and think, do I want my child to read that? Probably not. You know, so they just kind of handle things in a professional, I consider, way to protect children, but
But they couldn't.
not all teachers
They wouldn't be able to do it.
have that same sense of responsibility, I guess is what you call it. So anyway, I thought that probably made us unique in the state of Florida, that we had librarians that actually read everything before they put it on the shelf.
When we used to have a source, we used, I'm sorry, my mom's in the hospital, so I wanna take a certain call. I'm good.
Okay.
So the, only other thing I have, straight is that, Friday, we are going over to Lee County for, the reunification experience. And, I received the agenda, which, you all will receive. We're gonna be broke up into breakout groups. Lee County School Board will also be present, and, you all will be introduced to the attendees. From the agenda, it looks very interesting. We're gonna be there, at 7:30 in the morning, and then they actually put us on the bus at 11:15, to head out to the Lee Civic Center, and we'll eat our lunch on the bus, and then we get to the Lee Civic Center, that's when we go into our breakout groups. And then we will be finished tomorrow or Friday, at 3:30. So it's a full day.
And we're meeting here at 6:30.
We're gonna, if you are in the Moorhaven area, we're gonna meet here at 6:30. The bus will leave at 6:30. It has to leave at 6:30. And it'll pick up a group of us in LaBelle at like 6:45-ish, 6:50. I think it'll take
at 6:55.
Okay,
Depends on your bus driver.
yeah, 7-ish.
Takes me 30 minutes to get to it, but
At
let me
least 30 minutes.
say.
At least 30
minutes,
yeah.
Y'all, is that gonna get us there by
At least 30 minutes.
It's, breakfast is from 7 to 7:30-ish. I mean, I'm sorry, 7:30 to 8, so if we get there, we'll probably get there about,
Well, you got traffic, so
Yeah,
probably
that'll
from
be
Mobile
traffic out there.
to,
so do y'all
Yeah,
wanna
be
try to
closer
leave
to
at
8.
6?
What date was that scheduled for?
if you need to be there at 7:30 to 8,
We have
That's
to be there between
breakfast.
7:30 and 8. Oh, yeah, we can leave earlier.
Okay, so we need to leave here
Because when you
tomorrow
get
morning.
to that intersection there at 31, where the brand is,
16th of June.
you have to get through there.
So let's leave here tomorrow at 6 a.m.
It's not gonna be as bad because school's not in.
Whoa,
it's still busy though.
Yeah.
that's really early.
What
Alright,
time?
6:15, what do y'all wanna do?
I'd say 6:15.
Joey folks, it's really.
6:15, I think.
Yeah, it's really early.
You think if we leave here at 6:15, they pick us up by 6:45, that would give us time. Alright, so
Yeah,
we're leaving here
that
at
would-
6:15.
So you didn't include the Jubilee.
And so we could bring our breakfast on the buses.
They are feeding us breakfast, but yes, if you wanna bring coffee or whatever.
What are they doing for lunch?
I'm sure it's a bag lunch because we're going in on the bus, so.
Okay,
That's it, that's all I have.
all right, thank you.
6:15.
Dr. Barfield?
Do we get to see, our, one of our employees? We're gonna be in Lee County.
Mr. Which one?
Lindsay.
Mr.
We'll get to
Williams?
see her? Oh, and Mr. Willis.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Okay.
It's
Can we give them dirty looks?
Yeah.
It's their,
Former employees.
it'll be the first time their administrators come back for the new year. So for about 15 minutes, we'll have to sit through introductions, but other than that, it's all about reunification.
Thank you very much, Dr. Barfield.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll move to school board member comments, and, I'm gonna start with Ms. Clement today. Just to change things up.
All right. I don't have much. I do have a question on open house. I know every year there's I don't wanna say a holdup, but there's a disconnect with some of the teachers and the Spanish-speaking, parents. And so this year, without having some of those very valuable, people that can help with that, are we gonna have people in each school that are able to help translate with the teachers and the parents?
So there are parents, there are employees that speak Spanish out on the school site, so yes.
Okay. I just wanna make sure I know every year.
The parents are still there.
Yeah.
They're still there.
The people that are out there are the two advocates from the district office.
Even in previous years with the paras, I mean, in each building, they're, with a family, and so the other families and all the other classes are having to wait. And so we had talked about, I think it was last year after open house, we had talked about possibly using, some of the students or FBLA, some of the different organizations. Is that something that is still?
I can look into it. That's,
Yeah, that'd be great, and then they could get community service hours doing that.
Because not only was it began getting frustrating for the parents and the teachers, because then the student was having to translate. And sometimes it wasn't getting translated the same way that they were needing for it to be translated. That's the only thing that I had.
What date is open house?
Yeah, the only one I have is,
Is it the 4th?
it's the same as our meeting.
it's the same, yeah, it's the same day as the
So
high
Ms.
school.
Thornhaven Elementary's,
Did they say the 4th? Is it the 4th?
oh,
August
they're all on
seventh,
the same night?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
August 7th.
August the 7th.
And we have a board meeting at 6, so West Glades, Thornhaven Elementary, and the high school are all at 6 o'clock on that night?
Say that one more time, starting straight.
All 3 schools are at 6 is my question.
Yes, ma'am.
Lisa's, elementary was at 4 and
Actually, I think it is staggered.
It used, it used to be a little bit staggered
Look
because
on their website.
overlapping.
Yeah.
So that parents who had 3 children.
I'll send y'all a calendar invite.
Don't send an email, cause I won't get it,
Okay.
unless you send it to AOL.
Send
I'm getting that.
email.
I've gotta take my phone back to Verizon. Have them fix whatever's wrong.
All right, Ms. Clement, did you have anything else? All right, Ms. Pierce, welcome back, Ms. Pierce. You have any
Yeah,
comments?
thank you. Just happy to be here.
Glad to have you back.
And my heart is well, parents,
Good deal.
after we get tested.
Good.
I'm not gonna say it's well, it's not anything that keeps you from having surgery.
Awesome, awesome. All right, Mr. Lucky.
There's a lot going on in my life right now. So knowing that almost every other person up here is one who prays and believes in the power of prayer, I list my father and my mother and ask that you would pray for them. I was telling Patty that since I've seen Patty, my dad has spent 6 days in the hospital and my mom is on her 8th day and won't be out any sooner than Friday. And there's just a lot going on. I forgot to say at the beginning of the meeting, I was gonna keep my phone on and I might have to get up, and I did. That was very relevant call. Now, I'd like to switch to something positive, but I do covet your prayers and I believe in the power of prayer. Okay. I have recently been offered and have committed to being a adjunct professor for the College of Education for Florida Southwest University. And I will be teaching 2 sessions of intro to education at Clewiston High to dual enrolled students beginning August 25th, I believe. And I'm excited about that because I do believe, as in this role and in that role, I'm getting to use a lot of the stuff that I've learned in the last 35 years, and I get to be with students again. And those of you who have been teachers, you don't give it up. You're always a teacher. And I know that there's 3 or 4 of us up here that can vouch for that. So I'm really excited about that. That's it.
Awesome, awesome. You're gonna love those kids, they're great kids in that program in there. So don't.
It's 2 days a week, 2 mornings a week, and I get to teach 2 sessions each morning, so that makes it worth the drive. It's double the pay, because you get to teach 2. I wouldn't do it for 1, not driving 45 minutes. I would do it locally.
Yeah, don't forget, I'm your sub.
That's right, that's right. Ms. Prowan, if you ever want to be a sub, you let me know. I don't plan on missing any days, but with what's going on in my life right now, who knows?
All right, Ms. Prowan, thank you, Larry, we're proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't have anything. Awesome.
I'm good.
I saw your pictures.
I did, Ms. Prowan. I just want to say that. I tried to subtly say that in the phone messages, but people were commenting about these wonderful pictures, and I didn't get any of them. So if you want to share some of those with me, I would be very excited.
I have hundreds.
Okay, I didn't see those. I didn't see anything.
Her grandchildren were there, so they're getting their first ones.
Just Cameron, just one.
Yeah.
Cameron is quite a shot. She's a hunter.
Sharpshooter.
She is. She killed 3 animals. For those of you who don't like to kill animals, don't listen.
What time where?
She killed a gemspot. You can Google that if you don't know what it is. It took her 2 shots. She knocked it down with the first one, but she had to shoot it again. And then she killed a zebra, dead on, 1 shot, it was gone. And a Neala, same thing, 1 shot. So she killed 3 animals, fired 4 shots.
That's awesome.
So is she keeping the hide on the zebra?
She's having shoulder amounts of the Neala and gemsbok and a rug made out of the zebra.
Exactly. perfect, I would do the same thing.
And my husband darted a
I
rhinoceros,
saw this too.
which just put him to sleep so we could pet him and take pictures, and then he woke up.
It was huge.
He was huge, it was,
It's probably the only thing I'm afraid of, besides maybe a lion or a tiger, of course.
this
but
is
a rhinoceros
probably
is really
not
scary.
board business, but I have to tell this anyway. So when we planned the rhino hunt, I told Dick I wanted to go with him. I've gone with him on all his hunts, but he wanted Cameron to go with him. So I stayed in the Land Rover and Cameron did the stalk with Dick. And while they were stalking the rhinoceros, she texted her mom and said, I think this is dangerous. In case something happens, I love you. Oh, yeah. But all was well.
So glad you made that safely. Thank you. So I'm crazy being afraid of that. That's the other one I'm afraid of.
Awesome. All right, Dr. Barfield, you had your hand?
Just, two things. The first thing is that, I'm going to, at 3:00 today, I'm going to send my directors home. If they want to go home, because it is going to be a very early morning for them, and they do have quite a drive. And and Miss Melinda says, and me too. They heard this, so they probably, if they don't wanna stay for this, they don't have to, but, I wanted to read this to you. I read this to them, and, I just thought this was really, I don't know, I think we get so caught up in the politics and the procedures of education sometimes that we forget about the teachers and why they teach. I want to read you a little something, so just sit back and just take a deep breath. And like I said, my directors have already heard this, I read this to them, and I think with this being the school board meeting prior to school starting, it's appropriate. So the name of this book is called 32 Third Graders and One Class Bunny.
Oh, I've read that.
And I love, I had an administrator in my life, a superintendent who, just put the passion of me into wanting to just read everything I could get my hands on professionally. And she always reminded me that you have to have stuff like this in your life. So I'm gonna read this to you. It says, why do I teach? Every year, I ask my students what they want to be when they grow up. I tell their parents to listen closely, because it was in 3rd grade that I decided I wanted to become a teacher. When I grow up, I want to be a lawyer, said Amanda. I want to be a spy, said Justin. The doctor that helps animals, said Melanie. An actor, said Stephen. A doctor, said Anthony. Something that makes lots of money, said Nicole. A baseball player, said Matthew. Does anyone want to be a teacher, I asked. No way, shouted Kevin. Why not, I asked. I don't want to wear a tie, said Justin. My dad said teachers don't make any money, Aaron said. Well, that's true, I said. Aaron, what does your dad do for work? He's the vice president of some company, Aaron answered. Is he hiring, I asked. Huh? Never mind, I said. Natalie raised her hand. Yes, Natalie? Mr. Dunn, why did you become a teacher, she asked. I liked unclogging the drinking fountain, I smiled. No, come on, really, said Natalie. Why did you become a teacher? It was a great question, one I hadn't thought about since my student teaching days. I thought about it for the rest of the day. I became a teacher because I like that I get to start all over again every September. I became a teacher because I like watching 32 silent, wide-eyed children suddenly burst into laughter all at the same time when the Grinch rides his sleigh down Whoville. I like when one child starts singing and the others join in. I like hearing students giggle to themselves when they're reading a new book during silent reading time. I like to hand out those little candy hearts with the words on them around Valentine's Day and watch the kids scream if the hearts say, hug me. And I get a kick out of seeing kids carry trombone cases to school that are bigger than they are. Why do I teach? Where else can you leave work and have 100 little people scream goodbye to you from the school bus every day? But the main reason I became a teacher is that I like being the first one to introduce kids to words and music and books and people and numbers and concepts and ideas that they have never heard about or thought about before. I like being the first one to tell them about Long John Silver and negative numbers and Beethoven and oh, what a beautiful morning and similes and right angles and Ebenezer Scrooge. Can you remember exactly when you learned something new? I can. I remember where I was sitting when Miss Greco taught us, I'm looking over a four-leaf clover. I remember when Miss Clark taught us what discrimination meant as she described her experience in a Japanese internment camp in California. She called it a concentration camp. I remember exactly when Mr. Johnson taught me 9 times 7 with his magic multiplying marshmallows. I remember when Miss Garson told me there was no such word as funner, and I didn't believe her. Just think about what you know today. You read, you write, you work with numbers, you solve problems. We take all those things for granted. But of course, you haven't always read, you haven't always known how to write, you weren't born knowing how to subtract 199 from 600. Someone showed you. There was a moment when you moved from not knowing to knowing. There was a moment when you moved from not understanding to understanding. And that's why I became a teacher. And so as we get ready to start the school year, I hope that all of our teachers are ready and they're going to have a wonderful year.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's such a, you know, when I do my job as a school board member, I miss being a teacher because I felt like this job would keep me in education, and it does, but it's not the fun part of education. It's the grueling, the boring, the lack of children. It's, you know, I mean, I know it's necessary that we do this work, and it's inspiring to know that the work that we do supports the people that are actually in the trenches every day, but they have the job that everyone should get to have. Everyone should get to be a teacher. It's just the most rewarding work I have ever done. So thank you for that reminder.
That teachers, we read books, good books, and then most of the time we'll pass it on to somebody. But that book is what I call a keeper. I walked by that book a couple days ago. I was doing some different things in the house. And I remember saying, oh, I want to pick that up again because that book, like some other books, if you're down and out or you get a bunch of negativity in your job or anything, you pick up that book and
That might be a great book for your class,
oh, that's
for
true.
your intro to ed
Right.
class. Yeah, because, you know, Harry Wong's book is not real inspiring. It's helpful,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? That, maybe an inspiring book would push somebody into education. Because some of them might just be there because they need an elective, you know?
right, yeah.
So, thank you for sharing that. I did want to bring up, the impact fees and ask you, have you heard anything from the county? Because if we could get the impact fees, the tax we're considering, we may not have to pursue.
I'm concerned about the tax because of us being already at 7%.
Yeah.
And if we tax, we're gonna go up to 7.5%, which would be one of the highest tax counties in the state of Florida.
But my concern about that is if we don't, and the county will get moved up to 7.5 and we don't get any of it. That's my concern. I mean, maybe we could ask Mr. McKinley to find that out for us. If
You
we're.
mean like if it's a race to see who gets,
Well, if, first of all, they already have a tax, I believe, the county does. And so the max is 7.5 sales tax, is that correct?
I don't know that.
Could you look into that for us? The maximum
I would have
sales
guessed
tax.
there wasn't a max, but okay, I'll look at that.
There isn't a max that I know of, Crystal, but, the county has to get the tax, we get a percentage. That's not our choice.
Of what?
We get a percentage of the tax, and then we decide on what we're gonna spend it on. That's,
We're not getting any percentage of the tax they currently have.
well, then, that's illegal.
The sales tax.
Yeah,
We get it, we do get it.
well, not to my,
Every public school gets a percentage of their county's tax.
okay, Dawn, do we get a percentage of the sales tax that the county?
Not sales tax,
assesses?
what she might be speaking about is, so like if someone's pulled over and they pay their fines, fees or tickets and stuff like that, we do get a percentage of that, that's the Sloshburg. Sales tax, no, there's no.
Well, it's the tax period. There's a big pot of tax that.
You're talking about the property taxes,
Property
yes, that's
taxes.
capital,
And they're trying to eliminate that because of all the elderly people that live here that don't have children or grandchildren that go to our schools. They don't think that they should have to pay for it. It also pays for our roads, it pays for, but we do get a percentage of.
Yeah, that's the property tax,
We get
not sales
property
tax.
tax, yes, we're talking about an additional sales tax.
The state mandates 6% sales tax. Glades County charges 7%. That extra percent goes to the county. We get
100% of that one.
We would like, or we've talked about adding an additional 0.5% just for the school board.
And I think the reason we said half is because I think there's a maximum of 7.5
I think you're right.
that you can go to. So my fear would be, we decide not to, because we don't wanna tax the people, which no one does want to do that. But if we feel like to make the schools, build new schools and do all the improvements we wanna do, if we feel like we need to do that and we choose not to, can the county then get that other house then? And then the residents are still paying it, but we're still not getting any.
And we're one of the only school districts that doesn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to miss the opportunity. Could you look into that,
That
for
has
Mr.
never been-
McKinley?
Yeah, there is a max.
Okay.
And the 1% that the county commission has added, was there a timeline on that, or is it indefinitely until something happens?
I think it's on our ballot from time
Yeah,
to
it's a
time.
ballot thing, which would be,
Yeah.
one of them is 2 years, but it's generally 4 years, for those kinds of.
I think I remember
We've
seeing
done
that on the
that
ballot.
we've done that in the past, but we didn't add the tax, we just added how we could spend the village.
That's different, that's our
That's the-
referendum. That's our referendum that we just voted on to get, we're gonna definitely do that.
Flexible funding, but what I'm saying is, I've never been told that we didn't get a portion of the county's taxes.
Sales tax, right, you
Never.
know,
I've never been told that.
yeah, we
I
get,
got it all
we
in
get the
one pot,
property.
and that, I didn't know that it was only property, I thought it was all the tax.
Yeah.
Well, at one time it didn't really matter, but now that we have truck stops and everything else, we should be getting it. So we need to, I don't think we need to add our own, I think we need to get a percentage of the county commissioners.
I don't think they're gonna give us
Yeah.
that.
Well, I know they're not going to voluntarily, but
I don't think they have to, they have their own ability as a taxing, authority, right, as a county commission to place the tax, just like we have the authority to add a tax just for us.
being that
Now, the
they're not-
impact fee would be shared with the county, and that's what I'm saying, if the impact fee, but we're waiting on the county, and they were doing a feasibility study, and I don't know why they're dragging the feet,
Well, we
because
should be doing an impact on everything that's built from now on, because we were led astray to not charge the impact because we were afraid that they wouldn't come. But now they're here, Westlands, I mean, it's crazy.
right,
Well,
So
back when it
impact
was,
fees,
they wouldn't have come back if that was like in there was a time when they had an $8,000 impact fee.
yeah, I remember I paid
And
it.
like, we went and started a project on our property just before, so we wouldn't have to pay
Yeah.
$8,000. We just have to pay $150 every 6 months to renew it.
well, Okeechobee's got it, and developers that just bought across the street from us and back behind our ranch that the Indian, thank God, got, instead of we sold it to them. They're charging. I mean, they're not charging. We should be charging because there's 1,400 homes, is what I'm trying to say. That would be really nice in our bank account.
So is,
Because we don't get 100% of that either.
And
That goes throughout everybody too.
when there are impact fees, who decides who gets what?
There's
I
a
don't know how
formula
that's
somewhere.
done.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
math with
formula.
lots of square roots and stuff. And in order to impose one, we have to be able to justify by a qualified expert, that this is gonna be the shortfall in school seats based on this reasonably projected growth. Then the state requires us to discount that by 50%, I believe. And we get what's left over after all those gyrations and shenanigans.
I think we're in a position right now that we could do that.
What
We
are,
could
do we
meet that
know the rate
criteria.
of building permits, just out of, for my own personal curiosity?
The rate of building permits.
Yeah, how many we had in 24?
Jenny
It
knew,
was
that's
huge.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
Huge
but
for
it was
us.
crazy.
Yeah, it went
Correct.
from 7 to 70 or something like that.
Yeah, it was probably upwards of 500. I would guess.
500?
Yeah.
It's been a lot, those
Yeah,
Jewish communities and
and.
That's a lot for us.
Fort LaBelle,
Fort LaBelle is.
it's crazy,
Yeah.
because in the 4 years between 2020 and 2024, hundreds of homes were built, and the electorate went up like, I think 400 to 500, if you, according to Ms. Farnham. That's how many
Voters.
voters. So you add the ones that don't vote and the children, and you've got a lot out there.
So we're missing that, so.
so I guess my question is, so on the next ballot, the one coming up in 26, we will be voting for three school board members, 2 financial, and a superintendent appointed or, correct?
Well, I would like to see us put, 3 school board members are up for election.
Correct.
Yes. We'll have the referendum on there, and we'll have the appointed or, yes.
So we're not adding we're not doing anything else other than the referendum.
Because that, if we do, it needs to go on the general ballot in November. If we decide to do the tax, an added sales tax, that would have to be on another ballot in November.
Okay, so here's my next question. Okay, well, I can ask later, because you're right.
Okay,
She said the flexible funding could go on the primary.
right.
She said that, yeah, that's all that was.
And the superintendent, if you decide to go that route. But the taxes have to go on the general, for sure.
But the impact fee, that doesn't even go on a ballot. That's a decision made by the county commission, right?
Right, yeah, the county commission has to decide to move forward with it, they have to go through the process legally about the consultants and all that whatnot.
And we're piggybacking on
Yeah, we sort of piggyback our easy riders on them, so to speak.
We need to find out that formula and see how much of that we're gonna be able to, that will be,
Well, getting the answer to that costs a lot of money.
well, that's what I'm saying, we need to know ahead of time before we support them.
Yes, that's,
Well, that's
We'll also
probably in their feasibility study. That's gonna cost $30,000 to,
normally you get pushback from local contractors also.
That's what I'm saying, I mean, we wanna know what we're gonna benefit from.
all right, the only other thing I wanted was, I'm still looking for a breakdown of our collegiate academy.
I have that, I can email, and actually, Mr. Lucky just asked me about that yesterday. I have the breakdown, and then I also have the book breakdown.
Okay, so do you have the salary for Ms. Moss in there?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we have that.
You have books, tuition, and instructor costs?
Yes, ma'am.
Because the instructor cost was, I didn't realize, but we're paying the instructors' salaries. I didn't know that. Did y'all know that? I thought FSW paid instructor fees. I mean, like Larry's salary at Clueston is gonna be paid by the Hendrick County School Board, not FSW.
Didn't know that.
But FSW sets the salary based on their salaries.
They have a union and they negotiate their salary, so.
It's done by session. I mean, it's, okay, you teach one whole session, this much, you teach this.
But
But when it gets to full-time, and by the way, I'm onboarding right now, so I'm going through hours and hours of onboarding stuff for FSW, and just last night, they make you look at data, and there are very few full-time professors, which most of us knew that. So about 80 to 85% of all adjunct professors and instructors are just part-time.
Right, do you get benefits as part-time?
The only benefits you get that I recall, because I've worked for Edison, that's how long it's been. I've worked for Edison in the 90s and the zeros. You get retirement. And it's not FRS, thank God, because statutes currently say, and this is one of the reasons I resigned from teaching, statute says an employee who works for a system that contributes to FRS, and we do, cannot be employed in another system that contributes to FRS. So if they had been paying into FRS for adjunct professors and professors, I wouldn't be able to have the job, but they pay into a small,
Even in a different position, you're not an instructor anymore.
I don't know.
I would say that you do
fine,
that.
she's done it, and there's been a few in the past that.
Yes, but, when was that? Because they have,
A long time.
there's been so,
Like 4 years ago?
right, it's changed.
You had to pick though which you wanted to pay into FRS, your elected position or your salary position. I had to choose.
Right, now, you're not allowed to have to, unless your grandfather again, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I was gonna lose 3 months of my salary as a school board member because I hadn't let 6 months go by, or no, 12 months go by.
Wow.
But then again, the law changed last year and reduced it to 6 months, so I was okay. So they're just doing funky things up there and it is changing all the time.
Okay, so if you'll email me that, Dr. Barfield,
Ma'am,
will you email me that about the collegiate?
yes,
high
ma'am,
school?
I'll send the whole board.
All right,
Yes, ma'am.
so Ms. Dawn, Ms. Martin, so you took what we spent last year on the collegiate high school and you incorporated it into the budget for this upcoming year, I'm
Yes.
assuming.
I'm still in that process, that was just the summary budget that I provided.
Right.
By the way, I had the Florida Department of Revenue email me again yesterday, and they commended our district on, they said that we went about it a little different way, and I didn't clarify with her what she specified, but she said that ours was one of the better counties with regards to the ads and the budget and the review of errors. She said we didn't come across anything that was an issue or a concern on our end, so I just wanted to let you guys know that, and it'll be showing up in the July 30th newspaper. So, but everything, I'm doing that process now of incorporating any recurring expenditures are already in there. Salary is in there, but that tidying up is still ongoing, so.
Okay. So I just wanna say to the board before we close out that the reason I'm asking about the collegiate cost breakdown is because, it's a lot. Just instructors, and this is per Dawn, the information I have, just the cost of the college professors in 23-24 was $153,000. In 24-25, it was $152,000. So that's, that's not counting books or the salary of our director. So I want us to do a comparison between having a cohort of dual enrollment students where FSW pays the salary of the professor and compare that to what we're currently doing with our collegiate. I think, I'm probably not right, but in my mind, I'm thinking that would be cheaper and we would still get the same benefit. Our kids could still graduate with an AA degree in 2 years, but it would be through dual enrollment. We could still have a person, a director's salary to help steer them and get their books and enroll them and all those things like we used to do.
Scott knows the exact figures on that, why it was to our benefit for that. I can't recall it. I don't have the information in front of me, I'd have to read it. But our county didn't even get to do it, the collegiate, the college. It's not even us. Not public school, us.
Are you talking about ITech?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking about our collegiate high school academy.
They're going there.
No, I'm talking about the kids that get the AA degree in 2 years.
Don't some of them attend some of those classes there?
Yeah, we have high school kids that go to class there, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's a different, Patty, that's something else we probably need to
Well,
look at.
we went in because it was in our favor, even with high salaries and everything else, it was in our favor because it was keeping the students in our school, in class.
So anyway, I want y'all to know, that in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. Can we help these kids get their AA on our campus through dual enrollment instead of having an academy? Because I think dual enrollment, the college pays the salary.
It's in the past, and this was a long time ago, so I'm sure it's changed. But FSW would not send professors out here for dual enrollment. We had to recruit our own professors if they had to meet their criteria, which is why it did not work for us. So it ended up that kids who could afford to or had the means to would drive to LaBelle and take classes.
Yeah.
We offered a few classes on our campus. John Heisman taught some, and I think way back when Laura Ahern taught some.
I took some. I took from John.
Okay, I thought you said you taught some.
No, I took the classes.
So, yes, they pay their professors, but they're not gonna send professors out here to our campus.
Well,
Right.
they can't get them. The position I just took has been advertised since last August.
No place for them to live, huh?
Well, it's a part-time job, so it's just a matter, nobody is gonna want to drive over here. You're just gonna have to find someone local, and there aren't many people local.
But see, what LaBelle High School does is they send their kids that wanna do dual enrollment down the road to the campus in
Same
LaBelle.
road.
We could probably bus our kids to
The
that
same way.
campus cheaper than $150,000 a year, I think.
Oh, we were hoping that whenever that was built, that we could offer classes that were gonna help our seniors as well.
But then you have to,
That didn't even have to go,
the professors have to be able to be scheduled during that time at the campus.
well, the
During
welding
the
and the
school day.
mechanics
Yeah.
and the
And
welding.
I don't know that we would save, I don't know that it would save that much money busing them. I think by the time the cost of, I don't know. I think it's
It's just really expensive, and if there's a way to do it, I love the program. I think it's great to give these kids that are first generation, who probably would not get an AA, I think it's a great program.
It's been looked at, I'm just letting you know, it has been, it wasn't just done without looking to see what it was gonna hurt or help. And it was looked at in every way, and it was benefiting our students and families.
John, are you still looking at the numbers, or you already pulled them?
It assisted because Dr. Barfield was requesting information, and when Ms. Drake was requesting information, it was kind of,
I was
I was
gonna
just,
come to you, but.
I was at the
Yeah.
same time, it was my understanding that it was gonna be presented at
Okay,
some
so-
point, and I think we are still doing that. It's just so I was providing the information at the same time, and then I kind of backed off since I gave answers to the questions, and I've been focusing more on the budget and the Florida Department of Revenue.
Okay, if you can answer this, does this, sometimes we put up all this money and then the state does reimburse us for something. Is there anything any reimbursements that the state does?
We get add-on FTE for completers and things like that, but it's not a fruitful.
Doing this
Reimbursement.
helped our graduation rate too.
I think saying why it's all wonderful is easy to spot, and the constituents understand that. I don't know how many of y'all have been questioned about this, but I've been questioned repeatedly. And I don't mind, I'm a school board member. So, that's why I've heard these figures, they're way out there, and I wanted to know. So when you say add-on, FTE, I mean, is that anything significant? Is that $50 a kid if they pass, or is it $1,000? I mean,
Well,
you don't have
that-
to answer now if you
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
something that I have to specifically
Okay.
look at with the FTE numbers and
Right.
break those out, because they get different weight percentages for those, so.
It's like a .03,
Yeah.
I think. But it's a whole long calculation.
Right.
For the
Yeah.
.03 figure.
And
It's not fruitful, that's all I can tell you.
it's not a critical number. It doesn't hit 1,000. It might hit a couple hundred.
It depends on how many completers we have, so
Right.
if it's less than, it's less than, if it's more than, it's.
Okay,
Alright,
so it's not a big offset.
But it's not.
Okay, thank you.
any other questions, comments?
I just need to let everybody know I will not be here on September 4th.
Okay. Got that, Mr. Carl. Mr. McKinley, anything you wanna add?
Not at this time,
Okay.
thank you.
Alright, meeting adjourned.
Your open house dates are August 7th, Moorhaven Elementary School in West Glades is from 5 to 7. And Moorhaven Middle High School is from 6:30 to 8:30, or 6:30 to 8 o'clock.
I knew it was staggered.
Hey, will you send that out to them, please? And
I just did.
you got it, okay.
I have the high school
So
from
August
6 to 8.
Matt Roy said it was from 6:30 to 8.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
'cause I
just 2
texted
hours. On their calendar, they have still 6 to 8.
Okay. And 5 to 7 for West Glades and Moorhaven.